Cat. You doing alright? Feeling okay? Feeling hippity hip hoppity hoopity hippitin'? Huh? Don't be a fatso. What do you got going on? Alright, is that happening yet? It is not. I'm taking a sip of water while I wait. Hello everybody. Welcome to Houston. We have a problem. It's Friday. Set up for the weekend. Apparently we're going to hit with yet another storm here in Seattle. So get the show done while I can. This weekend is going to be exciting for Houston because he's going to reorganize the office and install a new computer and hopefully get everything ghosted over and swapped. And then everything's going to be fancy and new and pristine. And yeah, don't you dare pull that off the... You monsters. Just all of you. All of you suck so much. That's a bad idea. I should be wrapped around there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now you can pull on things and it won't bother me. All right. So we didn't finish above 28. We still finished, 27 and 93 or something. We pushed a little bit of shares in the money. I think Max Payne by today was like 26. GME Max Payne. Max Payne was at... Where were we today? Max Payne today was all the way up to 26. Next week is 24. It means the floor on this stock is getting higher and higher as a result. Because last week, they said this week was going to be like 21. So the market makers and the options writers are, what the hell, are getting prepared to just put holes in the leather. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Jeez, my knees. Spaz. They're getting prepared for this stock to just have a higher floor than before. Yeah, if you knock shit on the floor, I'm going to throw you like a football. Nope. That's not for you to play with. Nope. That's going to go right there. Okay. Chill out. Chill out. Chill out. Chill. What was I even talking about? Oh, yeah. We finished 27, whatever. We put not very many shares above Max Payne in the money. Did 3,000. Whoops, that's the wrong date. Cat. Jesus. No. Stop. Someone found where I store the catnip, and she is out of her mind right now and cannot be controlled. So, okay. Refresh, you ding dong. I need to look at this page. Why is nothing working? Yahoo, you garbage. Go there, refresh. Okay. Now click on that, and it doesn't give me a date. Boink. Boink. Give me the stupid... There we go. There's today's. So, we're at 26. 147... Like 900,000 shares. Oh, no, sorry. 2, 4... 8. Okay, 1.1 million shares went in the money today. Not a very big markup for our gamma ramping. But there is a couple of due dates coming in for failures to delivers and swaps and things like that next week. So we might get a little bit, but it's not going to be gamma ramping that does it. So unless Roaring Kitty does a tweet about, hey, look at all these 12/20 options I have or something, we're not gonna see much out of yeah, eat that tail. I don't think it's retirement week for Houston. Although some people with the TAs, they're claiming it's going to be like $80 next week. If it is, I'm ready for it. If it's not, I'll wait till the next time we get some volatility and do it all again, right? Right? Yeah, eat that hand. Eat that hand. Yes. Ow. Don't try and disembowel the hand. Just, I just want to scratch you apart. So yeah, let's just keep it simple. Drugs are bad for little tiny things. That's your foot. Don't eat it. Okay. Turn it off. What I don't need is this ding dong distracting me from everything. Oh, you burr. Okay. Where am I? What's happening? Zion God do with Nub first. Bill Coyne last. Fred Jones second to last. Luke Alexander. Happy birthday, Houston. A few shows ago, you mentioned China being able to open businesses in America to undercut U.S. production with Trump's tariffs. Can you go over that again? Yes. Thanks to Citizens United, when you register a company in the United States, that company is considered a U.S. citizen. So, this is how folks like Uranium One and Rio Tinto get around the fact that only Americans are allowed to own and operate mineral claims on federal lands. So Uranium One's a giant uranium miner in Wyoming, and they're owned by Russians. And it's illegal for Russians to own a mining operation on federal lands. But they create a wholly owned subsidiary based in the United States, and that subsidiary is what controls the mine. Therefore, there's a loophole that allows Russians to control mineral rights in the United States against the spirit of the law. In the same way, these Chinese companies, imagine drop shippers like Temu and stuff. Right now, shipping is subsidized by the Chinese government. So you order something, it could be 50 pounds, and China will ship that thing for $1. They will subsidize the shipper to ship it for $1 to get to the United States so that it can then end up at your house and undercut the U.S. market. Well, if you put tariffs on that, you order your, computer monitor from Temu or something. It is $100 cheaper than anywhere else. You're like, sweet. But when it arrives, you now have a tariff to pay. You have to pay, you bought the monitor for $200, you have to pay $400 for the monitor. You're like, well, this sucks. That's more expensive than buying it from an American company, right? So companies in China know this. And what they will do is they will open up giant warehouses in the U.S. that are wholly owned subsidiaries. Like they're American companies, wholly owned by a Chinese corporation. And then the Chinese company will sell that computer monitor to itself. They will sell it to itself for pennies. 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever, right? And so they will buy that computer monitor for themselves for 10 cents. They'll pay an extra 10 cent, 100% tariff on it. So for 20 cents, they get that computer monitor. And then they're still able to undercut U.S. manufacturers by 20, 30, 40, 50%. That is basically what they're going to start doing to avoid these tariffs. Is you're just going to create Chinese middlemen in the United States as opposed to American wholesalers that do the same thing right now. So, yeah, that's the name of the game. It's going to be loophole central, and we're all going to get screwed, right? Oh, you're already out like a light. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm stuck. You're stuck in the wrong arm because I can't use my mouse with this arm. I can try. Get over here. I don't need to scroll yet. That's okay. All right. Chris Taylor. Hey. Happy Friday. Are we there yet? We are not. Brawl for Life. BBBY. Done. 1126. Done. Oh my gosh. It would be awesome if it was. I would welcome the day that it's finally done. And then Houston can turn off his brain and know what it's like to be brainless for just the smallest amount of time. Tune out everything. I could tune out everything. I can go somewhere to just melt into the ground and then return back into general society. And then I can approach all the events that happen as if I was in a coma or I'm like reading a history book or something. That'd be kind of new and exciting. So I wouldn't have the trauma of it happening in the real time. I would just, have the overwhelming sadness and depression that comes with knowing that it happened. Wouldn't that be good? Yeah? You little nugget. This cat is so easy to make fall asleep. It's like turning a alligator on its belly. They just go out like a light. All right, I'm going to switch arms to right there. There we go. All right, so I can use the mouse. Chris Taylor, SMCI, back up to 33. What the hell? Missed the opportunity. Yeah, they're criming. Rosemoon, can everyone please pray for me or manifest for me? Think good thoughts for me for an interview on Tuesday. I really need this. Also, hi, Houston. When's the last time you had a professional scary interview? 2019. I would never call an interview scary. I'm a dude. and dudes have way too much confidence. So when we go into interview, we're like, this is an opportunity to show them how rad I am. So that's what you need to do, Rose. In your interview, you need to let them know how rad you are. Absolutely do not do any self-depreciation. When they ask if you can do something, say, yeah, I'm better at it than anybody. If they ask if you could do something you've never even heard of, say, totally, I know it all. Right? And then go to the library, get out a book on that thing, and learn it over the weekend. At your interview, project confidence. People do not want to hire folks who are like, well, I'm not the best at it. Because they don't appreciate self-depreciation. They want you to be good at the job they're hiring you for. So project that confidence like you would any man who goes in for the interview. Wholly mediocre, unqualified white men get hired for jobs all the time because they just assume they're better at it than everyone else. You assume that role. Pretend you are a mediocre white man going in for a job interview you are wholly unqualified for and nailing it anyway, right? Because you probably are more qualified than the other people who are going in there. So that's my advice. If they ask you can do something, you're the best at it, even if you've never even heard of it before, because that gives you a full 48 hours until Monday morning or whatever to actually learn what the hell it is that they want you to do. Some particular software, programming, whatever. You're going to go learn it if you have to. So that is, you always say that, like, I'm a quick learner. I can master anything in a short amount of time. That's the type of thing you want to do. And they will go, wow, she's a real go-getter. And then they'll hire you. So do that. That's my advice. Chris Taylor, 1 SMCI puts time. Manifesting, engage, good luck. To Rosamund. It'll be hard to gauge because when the bottom falls out of NVIDIA and all their little satellite fraud organizations, it's going to fall really hard and really fast. It's going to be one of those things where the people who time it right will have timed it. So maybe, look at leaps 6 months or a year from now. And that might be, you'll hit it somewhere in there probably. But trying to be like, it's going to be on this Thursday, so I'll load up. It's just going to fall out from under you during after hours and you'll miss the boat. So if you're going to do the puts, I think you just load up now for something 6 months to a year from now. Adam M. Cardano ADA is on fire. Cardano ADA. Atlanta District Attorney? Cardano, what the hell is a Cardano ADA? Cardano ADA. Is it a crypto? Cardano price rallies above 2-year high. Okay, so this must be what this is. Cardano is a coin of some kind. It made it to $1.05. It's been at below 40 cents for quite some time. Basically below 40 cents since August. And now it's above $1. So it's getting the rocket ship along with all the other crypto coins right now. Because we're going to have a very, very, very crypto-friendly administration. They've got a crypto lawyer who they've nominated for the SEC. It's going to be crypto, 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 crypto. And then society will collapse. Crypto bros will be left penniless and just drifting in the wind like hobos. Jason Blackwell, hey, Houston. I need new glasses, just haven't had time to replace them. So I've been drinking out of the hands. Okay. Javier's manifesting as well. Lost Waves goes, Cardano! Fred Jones, throwing up some prayers for you now, Rosemond, thank you, everybody. Be a first real tech job. Cool. Get it. Peachy Sunday. Happy birthday, huge dong. How did we get it so wrong in the election? How sure are you that the orange shoe polish guy didn't cheat? Well, I'm not sure at all they didn't cheat. He is a cheater. He is a fraudster, a con man, a grifter, right? It's what he does. He's a felon. He cheats on his wives. He cheats in business. He's a cheater. So I would never put it past him to cheat for something. The problem is that his opposition are the Democrats, who are a bunch of spineless weenies who will never do anything about it. They just postponed his sentencing indefinitely because they're like, well, what are we going to do? He's going to be president. You sentence him to prison because he's a criminal. Who gives a shit if he's going to be president? That's doing the right thing. Take a note out of Brazil. Brazil's going to throw Bolsonaro away and toss the key. He's never going to see the light of day again. That's what you do when criminals take over your government. You arrest them and you throw away the key. So you need to set the example for these folks that you cannot commit crimes and get away with it if you're in elected office. But we are setting the example that you can. If you're in elected office, you can get away with anything. Hey, you sex traffic 17-year-olds? Who cares, right? We'll give you a cushy job at Fox News or something. We need to be better. We need to be better in general. So, yeah. How we get so wrong in the election? I don't know. The polls of likely voters, which are the most accurate polls, all had her ahead in every single one of those swing states. And she lost. And she lost in weird ways in that people voted Democrat down ballot. More people voted for the Democrats down ballot than for her. And it wasn't made up for the fact that they voted Democrat down ballot and then voted for the Green Party candidate. That math does not add up. For some reason, they just didn't vote for her. And it's weird. It's not how elections normally work. So, is it not? You have experience with this, all of one election in your entire life. Brandon Wells is supping. Dead Bass. If you could only access the market to trade options once or twice a day due to work, would you still do that, and how would you adjust your approach? It's a good question. I'd probably set limit orders for the time I'm at work. Be like, this is the ideal price I'd want. Set a limit order for it. Be like, maybe the option you wanted to buy is going between 98 cents and $1.50. It's like a volatility day. It's bouncing around there. You want to get it for at least $1.10 or lower. So put in a limit order for $1.10 and see if that triggers. And if not, you can take a stare at it during your break or lunch or whatever and see what it's doing. And if it looks like it might drop below your limit order, take the limit off and just watch it during lunch. And if it doesn't hit it while there, well, either you bite the bullet and buy at the cost it is, or you set the limit order again until you get done with work. That's what you do. You are just a squishy little squish bag. Oh, really? We're gonna go there. Air sounds? You're making sounds, huh? All right. I didn't load up on options today. Mistake. Maybe, or it could be like next week or this week, where Monday was garbage, and then you go there. Monday was garbage, and then Tuesday was like a woohoo day. So I may have jumped too early because I bought it $1 and it dropped to 90 cents today for the options I wanted. So I could have saved myself and bought a couple more, bought 2 more out of that. So I'd have been at 24 rather than 22. And well, started to piss rain outside. That's, what is that? It's raining. I've totally lost track of my brain. Duh. Okay, so I may miss the boat, and by Monday morning, it might push it down to $26. Those options all of a sudden are 30 cents, and I'd be like, oh. But then, just like last week, Tuesday hits, and those things shoot it back up to $1.50. And if I'd only purchased at 30 cents, I could have 5x'd my entire winnings just in one day and reset again. So, if it looks like it's not going to open big on Monday, so let's say Roaring Kitty doesn't do any YOLO update, and we're like, oh, and in the aftermarket, or the pre-market on Monday is looking kind of meh. If it opens and I can get 85 cents for them, I might dump them, lick my wounds, and then wait for later in the afternoon to see if I can get back in if they're going to push it down some more. I don't know. It's one of those things where you just kind of go by the gut feeling because you weren't Nostradamus. So you go, well, My gut's telling me this, and sometimes your gut's right, sometimes your gut is really, 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 really wrong. But when you get it, you're going to get it so big, you're going to be like, wow, that was awesome. Brawl for life, BBY, delay, never done. I don't know. BBY will get done when it gets done. We can look at all the filings we want until the filing says we're emerging from bankruptcy and this is our new setup. We have to just twiddle our thumbs and hope for the best. Low B, Wall Street Journal. Trump has selected hedge fund manager Scott Bessent to lead the Treasury Department. Oh, cool, another hedge fund guy. Yay, Scott. Which hedge fund was Scott Bessent? So it wasn't Kenny Boy. Key Square Group, a global macro investment fund. All right, so he definitely looks like the most waspy wasp in the entire wasp world here. Wow, look at that guy. All right, boom, bang, bing bong. This is as waspy as it gets here. Scott K. Bessent. He's from South Carolina. That was Yale. Barbara and Homer Gaston Besson. His father was a realtor. He graduated from Yale in '84 with a bachelor in political science. While at Yale, Besson was the editor of the Yale Daily News and president of Wolf's Head, one of the Yale's big three senior societies, and treasurer for the class of '84. He was chairman of the 1984 Yale Fund and was assistant to the director of athletics. So he's as Yale as it gets. Found Key Square Group 2015. 5.1 billion. How big is it now? Keystone Group. You don't have a thing for the Keystone Group. He lives in the Hamptons. He was a fundraiser for Al Gore in 2000. But he ended up donating $1 million to Trump's campaign in 2017. He's raised $7 million for Trump's 2024 campaign. This dude went from Al Gore to Donald Trump. Crazy. He proposed a 3-point economic plan for Trump molded on Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's 3 arrows economic policy. That worked out really well because it got Shinzo Abe killed and the entire country went, cool, and then moved on with their lives. So, all right. He's still University Counsel at Yale. Looks like all of his philanthropy has to do with buildings in Charleston, South Carolina, and raising money for Donald Trump. Okay, so if you raise enough money for Donald Trump, you will get appointed to a position. So don't worry about that. Just be like, hey, I'm going to donate millions of dollars so I can get a job with the Trump administration, paying me a couple $100,000. All right. Low B, propose stupid. I mistyped my comment first. Oh, I'm in top chat. Why am I in top chat and not in live chat? That is, oh my goodness. I'm missing some things here. Okay. Who'd I miss? What'd I miss? Oh, I missed Luke Alexander's happy birthday, Houston. Oh, they did that one. Okay. Did Rosemoon. Vader. Vader, Houston, with the next administration being friendly to Wall Street corruption, doesn't that essentially make our MOAS window even smaller since the hedge funds are now in control? Yes. But it also, what happens is when you deregulate, right? You deregulate and let all hell break loose. Is that these folks dig themselves giant holes they can't get out of for the quick money. And if you are playing for the quick money, then you're going to have an absolute economic disaster on your hands eventually as a result. So they may blink themselves out of existence by removing any controls and regulations on them because that's what happens. You know, you let the mortgage brokers do whatever the hell they want, you get a global financial crisis. You let the banks do whatever the hell you want, you get a Great Depression. So we're in that zone right now. Okay. Let's see whatever ones I miss up here. Okay. I got that one. Oh, there's probably stupid. Trump has selected Fox to head the security of the hen house. Okay. Cran Green is here. Peachy Sunday. Oh, that's Mr. Super Chat from Don Susie Shadem. If He-Man was non-binary, what would we call him? When we first, you would refer to He-Man as He-Man. And if you were to use a pronoun, you would probably use the they-them pronoun or whichever He-Man asked to be called. So, same thing as She-Ra was also non-binary. Her name is She-Ra, unless she changes her name, right? Then you call people whatever it is they prefer to be called. My oldest brother, he is born John McLaughlin. He changed his name to John Locke. Then he wanted to just be called John. This is like, he's probably in his 20s. He wants to be called just John, right? Then he goes back to John Locke. And now he just wants to be called Locke. So he goes by Locke. You call people what they want to be called, right? Your mother changed her last name. She may have been, I don't know, Ann Merriweather. And when she got married, she became Ann Carter. She became Ann Carter because she wants to be referred to as Ann Carter, not as Ann Merriweather. And so you just call him by the other name. The only thing I support dead naming on a constant basis is Twitter. I will refer to Twitter as Twitter until the day I die, just to piss off Elon Musk, because X is a stupid name. So it's Twitter, and it shall be Twitter forever, in my opinion. That's my one exception. That's the only thing I say you should be an asshole towards when it comes to dead naming something. Julius Miami, Besant is openly gay, MAGA meltdown coming. Oh, really? We're going to have a gay Secretary of the Treasury. Isn't that dandy? I bet he likes this shirt, though. That's an interesting note. I did not know. I looked at his picture and I was like, that guy dresses a little gay. But it turns out he is. So, all right. Don't see you shade him should be She-Man. Would not Elon buying MSNBC? Oh my god. Can we just not consolidate all of our media under the dumbest motherfuckers in the entire world? Can we just live in a society where the cream rises to the top for once? I don't know. Maybe he is. I know. I heard NBC might be spinning off MSNBC. I mean, Microsoft already spun off. It was originally Microsoft National Broadcasting Corporation. It was a joint venture between the two of them. The Microsoft was like, I want nothing to do with this. And they kept the name MSNBC. So, I'm sure if Elon takes over, it would just be a whole bunch of like edge lords in front of like glowing computers with headphones going, triggered nerd, and doing that over and over again. Probably stupid. To be honest, that's a joke I heard. Oh, that's talking about jokes. Okay. Season 54. Hello, everyone except Merrick Garland. Fuck you, Merrick. Pretty much. Murph and Turf Studios. Hey, Houston. Watching Drive Angry starring Nick Cage tonight for my podcast. Ever seen it? I have not seen it. I heard it's pretty funny. I should check it out, I guess. There's a bunch of Nick Cage movies I have just missed that have gotten glowing reviews. Drive Angry, the one where he like plays himself. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's got Mandalorian dude in it, Pablo Pascal. And then there was Pig. I heard really good things. I never saw that, about the chef who's like prize truffle pig goes missing. Nick Cage did a boatload of bottom of the barrel filmed in Eastern Europe movies after the global recession because he lost his ass on real estate. He was underwater like hundreds of millions of dollars. And so he basically took any job possible and was pumping out movie after movie after movie after movie. But one thing that happens when you pump out movie after movie after movie is you end up agreeing to some really weird like art house, avant-garde, esoteric stuff that is just cool. And there's quite a few of those. There's the one with like the creepy Chuck E. Cheese. I can't remember what it's called. Like where the animatronics come to life and like murder people. That one was pretty good. they're like weird low budget films where they spent all the money on getting Nick Cage to come in there. But now he's probably back up on top, and now he's found his niche as a 800-year-old man playing weird characters. Drive Angry. I have to watch Drive Angry. Andrew Stewart, Houston, thoughts on Bob Gibson and Satchel Paige? Two of the greatest pitchers to ever exist. Satchel Paige had hang time. That man pitched professionally into his 70s. We don't quite know his actual birth date. It was like a 4 to 6 year swing on when he was possibly born. He doesn't know his birth date. He made his major league debut, I think, in his 40s. Pitched his last professional game in the minor leagues in the 70s, and he was in his 70s at least at that point. His last pro game, I think, was with the A's, and he pitched like 3 shutout innings or something, and he was well into his 50s then. Bob Gibson, absolutely dominant, and then tore his arm apart like all fireballers did in the 60s, and petered out. But like, there was a time he pitched 28 complete games in a season. You don't see players do that anymore. They just do not have the ability to do that. They pitch to the 5th inning and they go, I'm going to sit down for 5 days and go through my routines and get my arm iced. And these dudes were on 4-man pitching rotations. They're pitching 9 innings every single day. When Gibson won the Cy Young, is it in 68? I think that was the season he had 28 whatever games. Bob Gibson. Baseball reference. He won 68. He won the Cy Young, 22-9, 28 complete games, 304 innings pitched. The next year, he didn't win the Cy Young. He wasn't even in the top votes for the Cy Young. 314 innings pitched. That's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. That is like as workhorse as it gets. Even then, he didn't crack 300 strikeouts, which is pretty amazing. But his ERA in 68 at 1.77 is just like, I think the only person to beat that since then is Pedro at 1.74. Just 28 complete games, 2 seasons in a row, 1969, 1968, and people talked about Bob Gibson. He was helped by the fact the mound was 6 inches higher, and he was still, when they lowered the mound in 69, he was still just as dominant. Just his peak athleticism definitely was 68. How old was he then? Probably 30. He was born in 1935, so he was 33. So a couple years removed from usual peak athleticism, which is around age 30. But he's still young. Managed until 75, but it's obvious he fell apart by then. He just couldn't do it anymore. It happens. You get old. Still got 15 seasons out of him. Pretty good. Hall of Famer all the way. So, but if Satchel Paige had been able to pitch in the major leagues from his early age on, he would probably be the winningest pitcher. Maybe not as much as Cy Young, because Cy Young, I think, was pitching with like a 3-man rotation. But he would have been 400 game winner. Probably lead the league all time in strikeouts, even over Nolan Ryan. Unlike Nolan Ryan, Satchel could pitch a no-hitter and not be wild the other games. Nolan Ryan was a wild man. He threw hard, threw freakishly hard. And if it came anywhere near the strike zone, you weren't going to hit it. But he also beamed people, walked them like crazy because he was just a wild man. I do have appreciation for those dudes those workhorses back in the day. I mean, Nolan Ryan had serious arm problems in his late 30s and just pitched through it until he was 45 years old, 46 years old. So you just don't see him like that anymore. Granted, they also make so much money now that when the arm gets hurt, they go, I'm done. And then they go enjoy their retirement. So prior to the late 80s, early 90s, they still had to keep working. Like, my arm hurts, but I still need, I'm making okay money, but not enough money to have a private yacht or own a city or whatever. So Yeah. Read a Satchel Paige, uh, biography one of these days. It's pretty fascinating. Just Miami, Russian ruble has lost 22% value in the last 2.5 months. Good. Russia is in much deeper financial straits than people realize. 60 Minutes had a thing a few weeks ago about like Russia's doing surprisingly well. They're not. The Russian population, I read some articles about how Russia claims they have like 115 million people, 120 million people. And this article did a statistical analysis of like looking at satellite maps and looking at cars and driveways and traffic and things like that. And they're estimating that Russia's population is only about 60 million. That's about half of what they claim. And that Russia does not have the population to sustain what they claim they're sustaining. And being cut off from Western tech, it's dooming a lot of their economic future. They won't be able to develop the weapons they want to develop. Even the intercontinental ballistic missile they sent and hit Ukraine with a conventional warhead recently, that's just the Tupolev missing one extra booster, which was developed in Ukraine. So they're even like making their own shit. They're just like taking stuff from the 1970s developed by Ukrainian engineers and Ukrainian manufacturing center, and they're just like tweaking it a little bit. So there's nothing new and original coming out of that stuff. And they tried sending one the week before and it blew up in the silo. They tried doing one a couple weeks ago and it blew up in the silo. So it's going to be a lot of work for them to get their existing intercontinental ballistic missile system up to working order, because that stuff has been just rotting and aging in these silos for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And, you get dry rot. You got a whole bunch of O-rings, right? Those O-rings might be made of latex or something, because it's prior to synthetics being available in Russia. And those things are going to get eaten by bacteria. They're going to lose their moisture. They're going to flake apart. So if you flick the switch and push the button and a whole bunch of fuel goes roaring through a coupling that has a dry rotted O-ring, the fuel spills out. All of a sudden, when that rocket kicks off, it ignites that fuel, goes up the channel and blows the entire fucking thing up. That's kind of what they're facing with a lot of this stuff. So they can, we're angry and rattle our sabers and stuff, but they really, I do not think, have the capability to bring as much death and destruction as they want us to believe. And the fact they haven't been able to rain down total hellfire across Ukraine and claim the entire country at this point proves that point. When the U.S. has entered its wars in recent memory, from Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War I, Gulf War II, the Afghan War, they have not gone all out. We've not gone all out in a war since World War II, when we mobilized 16 million people. And we were producing like a battleship a week out of our factories. We have not done that. We've been very restrained. And part of that is due to international law that has come out and UN and NATO charters and stuff that, we want to not have a lot of civilian losses. We want to just have our little directives. And we've not done all-out war since then. Russia is trying to do all-out war. They are seriously trying as hard as they can to do as much damage as they can, and they just don't have the bullets, the weapons, or the people to do it. Or the training, or anything else. So that's why everything's just stalled. They've stalled against a much smaller nation who has better weaponry, because it's more modern. And they're willing to innovate, adapt, and change, and they train their soldiers and their pilots and everyone else. And Russia just isn't doing it. So they're hurting big time. And what's crazy is that a nation, with a GDP half that of California, is able to throw their weight around the planet as much as they do, with bribing officials, compromising people, like getting folks to go along with their harebrained, let's convince you to kill your entire population motif. And that is probably in the history books will be noted as the most glaring failing of American intelligence, is allowing these Russians into our system to rot it from within. And that is a phenomenal success because they're spending all of their GDP on that and on pleasure boats and houses in Belgravia, and not on their people or their industry or their infrastructure. All that is just falling apart. Unless you're like in St. Petersburg or Moscow, then you're pretty good if you're in like the urban area there. But anywhere else, you're toast. You're just in like mud buildings falling into the ground. But yeah, they're almost out of gold. Their oil refineries are all shutting down because they don't have the tooling to fix it, or the knowledge, because they chased all those people away and they were subcontracting with American companies. And those American companies are not allowed to go work on their infrastructure. That might change with Trump. He may be like, you know what, do whatever you want. And then all of a sudden, we're back in Russia, giving them more money than they've ever had. And I have a feeling if World War III kicks off with Trump as president, we're going to be on the wrong side of it. We will be the bad guys. We'll be the baddies at that point. And I don't feel comfortable with that at all. Tadalus, if James Webb Space Telescope is behind the moon always, how does it get in between the sun and Earth? Or I don't understand something about where Lagrange point 2 is. Happy birthday. Okay, let's I gotta do paint. Paint. Oh, not that one. Over here. This. Yeah, we can do it over here. Scene. Turn off the chrome. Turn on the paint. There we go. Okay. So, I can do an ellipse of this, can't I? Ellipse. That is not an ellipse. That is not an ellipse at all. Clip the ellipse. Ellipse. There we go. Okay. So, let's... Oh, where'd you go? Okay, we'll pretend this is the Earth's orbit. Oops, no. I want black. I want black. I will do another one for the sun. So the sun's out here. This focal point 1. There. That's the sun. I can do a fill, right? I fill with that same color. Solid color. Oh. Fill. Solid color. Where are you? Oh, that's fill. Boink. Okay. And then the Earth will be this little guy out here in the orbit. So that's an exaggerated size Earth. It's on its orbit. And we will have a little moon here. I'll do a little moon out there. There's the moon. Okay. So, what you have in the Earth's orbit is you've got 4 Lagrange points, basically. You have L1, L2, L3, L4. And if I just make it, I'm going to draw these. I want to draw the line. Nope, that's a line. I don't want a line. I want to draw. Where's my little... There we go. That's what I want. Okay. Yeah, okay. Go away. Oh, you guys can't see everything because I made this too big. So let's make this... How do I go like that? Okay. How about I put it over here? Does that help? Oh, shit. Still can't see anything. Okay. Back to that. There we go. You guys can see that. There, that's all in there. Okay, now we did our practice run. Oops. Black. Again. Go there. We're going to do blue for the Earth. Oh, no, it made it... My God, man. I can do this. Orbit. Click off. Second one. Sun. Fill. Solid color. That did not fill anything. So we'll fill this way. Bam. Bam. Okay. Now, back to circle. Back to there. Make a little Earth. There's Earth. Okay. Make a little moon. I'll make the moon on this side. There's a little moon. Whoa, what happened? What? There we go. There's our little moon. Okay. Now. Boom. Size. Make you thick boy. I can't remember what all the Lagrange points are, so I'll just make them L's. L. 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 So there's certain spots you can put things, and they will sort of remain in this orbit, around the Earth. And as the Earth rotates, it will rotate exactly the same speed as the Earth does. So it will remain sort of in its spot according to everything else. Now, this might be L1 out here. I can't remember. It's one of these two. Maybe it's L1. Shit, I should look this up because I can't remember my L1 spots. Lagrange points. Oh, I got it backwards. Okay. Sorry, L1 is here. L1's here. That's L. Oh, come on. That is L1. L1's there, not here. Forget you. Screw you. So if I bring up Chrome, you can see here we got L1. L1 here. Oh, there's L2 there. Okay, there's an L2 out there. L3, L4, L5. And so as the system moves, let's see if I can do a GIF of this. Images, more. Come on. No, tools. Give me size, color, type. GIF. Give me a GIF of that bitch. Can it work? There we go. So that's sort of how the system works. So I believe it's at L1, isn't it? Lagrange point 1 or Lagrange point 2? Lagrange point 2, sorry. Lagrange point 2. So it's on the outside of the Earth's orbit, about 1 million miles. So it's out here. This is where James Webb is. So the moon is always going to pass inside of it, and it's on the other side from the sun. So we should be able to hopefully block some sunlight using the Earth a little bit to do that, and get those deep space pictures. So it's going to be basically always pointing out away from the sun when it's looking at the deep space. So there you go. That's where L2 is. L2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Been a while since I had to do anything with Lagrange points. So that's how it works. What other cool little ones do we have? We have this one. Oh, there we go. Showing the gravity wells of the Earth, and like little peaks and valleys as a result of those gravity waves. That's pretty cool. I like that one. How about you? What do you got for me? Showing the Lagrange point that way. Word. All right. There you go. There's Houston's piss poor explanation for Lagrange points. I didn't even need to draw something. I could just have one of these pictures come up. Oh well. Such is life. Ken Smith. Happy birthday, Houston. I bought $27 calls in the money Wednesday that didn't pay out. They sold 3:33 p.m. without me placing an order. End of the day close at set $27.90. I'm new to options. Can you explain? That's lame. I don't know who your broker is. You might be able to call them and turn off automatic sale. I know in one of my brokerage apps they're automatically selling, and then all of a sudden they had this thing. I was like, you can decline this, because I would just roll over, or I wanted to exercise. I think I had it one time. Do an automatic sale at like 3:30, and then Power Hour truly kicked in and went in the money by the time close happened, and I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Had that happen once. So turn off your automatic sales if you can. I'd call your broker and be like, don't sell those things. And yeah, because you're 90 cents over. Those things should be worth at least 90 cents. Person with no name, Jackie says Monday or Tuesday. Oh, Jackie Letitz with their TA. Monday would be great. Monday would allow me to really set up for Tuesday, so that'd be nice. But I don't know if it's happening without Roaring Kitty giving us that YOLO update and really throwing the algorithm for a loop. Because when he makes that announcement, the stock price jumps $15 overnight. So do that. Make it jump $15 overnight, and then Roaring Kitty can retire by Tuesday afternoon. That's all. It's just the life to do. It's not hard. It's not difficult. There's no skin off your back, buddy. You can do that. Sis54, if you want to be brainless and turned out, just become a Republican senator. CC, S2A, 4IB, Houston, happy birthday. With the tariffs and your example, wouldn't the IRS go after them for tax evasion or racketeering? For what? It's a wholly owned subsidiary. They're purchasing a product at a set price, as a contractual price. So they can try, but unless you somehow close the loophole of Citizens United, you're not going to be able to do anything. So, yeah. Low B says, Rosemoon, own your fabulousness. Yes. Be fabulous. Be a go-getter. Go in with confidence. Even if it's completely misplaced confidence or it's a complete lie. Act. Pretend. Go in there. You got this. Tai Fudabong. Be confident like Trump. Exactly. He's got all the confidence in the entire world and he's dumb as a bag of rocks. Rosemoon, I'm a mediocre white man until the interview, then I'm back to being fabulous. Thank you all. Yes. Woman in tech. Monkey butt, what do you want? Oh, you're upset that the kitten has your spot? Is that what's happening? Is that why you're staring at me? Because that adorable little flat pancake right there has your spot? Well, deal with it, dog. Either kick her off or join her. You don't have to stare. Oh, no, you're looking at treats. Fine. I know it's a short show. I'll do a cookie today. How's that sound? You want one of these? You want that cookie right there? You want it? You gotta come get it. You gotta come get it. There, so gentle. So gentle. Well, Monkey and I go on our little walks through town. We stop all the shops around here. Everything's very dog friendly. So every shop has like dog biscuits. So you can walk into, or even an art gallery where you're afraid like the tail will knock something over expensive. They have dog biscuits, and every single comment is always like, "She's so gentle." All the other dogs try to take my hand off. And Monkey's very much like, "Thank you." Low B super chats. New York Times. Russell Vought, a key figure in Project 2025. He's like the editor and the guy who planned Project 2025, who developed ways to enhance presidential power, was tapped to lead the budget office. But 45 isn't familiar with Project 2025, right? Yeah, they lied to you. Everyone who repeated the lie that Donald Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025, you are part of it. The man lied 35,000 times during his first administration. He is, above all else, a lying liar, full of lies. And he's like, I don't even know who these people are. He's already made like 4 or 5 people who are part of Project 2025 members of his cabinet, and he's taken the architect of Project 2025, put him in the budget office, and his vice presidential candidate wrote the foreword to Russell's book about Project 2025. So, you know, they're going to create a weird Christian fascist theocracy. And I don't know how much it's going to be able to jibe with the weird technocracy that Peter Thiel and Elon Musk want. But they've got a whole, it's a Venn diagram. They got some overlap in there. So, right? Oh, the fat boy's here too. Hi, buddy. What's up? Oh, the baseball is not supposed to be on the ground. The baseball is supposed to be up here, so Monkey doesn't eat it. Yeah. Mr. Osuna, Rosemoon, as a mediocre white man, I can confirm HW is entirely correct. You got this. Exactly. My friend Sarah, she's the one that now works at SpaceX. She's the crew member 7. She's the one that will be on the radio, like talking to the astronauts when they go to space. So you'll see her on TV every once in a while. And she is the head of training people for the astronaut program at Blue Origin. She was in education at the Museum of Flight here in Seattle, Boeing's Museum of Flight. Amazing museum. But when you work in education there, the pay is dirt. And she's an astrophysicist, graduate top of her class, brilliant woman. And in the education department there, the education outreach department, she was a single woman. She would take all the cool trips because everyone else was married and they had kids. And they're like, oh, I can't go to Malaysia for 3 weeks to do all these science shows. She'd be like, sign me the fuck up. So she went to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Malaysia, Japan, China. Like when there'd be big purchase of, let's say, I don't know, Emirates Airlines buys a whole bunch of 787s or something, right? As a kicker, Boeing will donate a bunch of money to the Museum of Flight so that the scientists can go during Ramadan, go to a shopping mall and do a whole bunch of shows in the middle of the night because that's when everyone's walking around because they're allowed to eat at night, right? And they're sleeping during the day. And she'll, for 3 weeks she'll do shows like, all these science shows. Well, it came time for one. She went to, I think, West Virginia, to some natural history museum in West Virginia. And they loved her so much. And I guess they were in between directors. And they're like, hey, would you like to be our executive director and run this museum? And she was like, oh, that's very nice of you. I have no interest in living in West Virginia. But she took the offer. She's like, I'll consider it. And she took that offer. And she went to her bosses where she'd been trying to get a raise at the Museum of Flight. And she's like, hey, I mean, I've talked to you guys for, a while now about a raise, and you haven't been willing to do it. So I'm just going to let you know, like, I do 80% of the shows. This is a 10-person department, and I do 80% of all the work. This is what I do. I do all the shows that other people aren't willing to do. I do all the traveling, and without me, nothing happens. And so let's let you know that I'm going to take this job in West Virginia. She had no intention of taking the job in West Virginia. She was just using it as leverage. And the way she describes it is her immediate boss, like, shoved her into an office, took the phone and the computer out and locked her in there, and then ran off to go to the museum director and be like, lady, you need to pay this woman what she wants or else she's leaving and our entire museum is screwed. And, Sarah was like in there just like waiting for them to come back and let her out. And by the time they came back and let her out, she had the exact raise she wanted, all the time off she wanted, every benefit she wanted. And that's what you have to do. And a lot of women, I don't know if it's nature or nurture, but a lot of them have a hard time owning up to their contributions. That again, they try to be self-differential for a lot of this stuff. And men just come in swinging the big dick they don't have, pretending like they're God's gift to everything. And I think that's some of the reason why you see pay discrepancies across the board, is because the men demand their raises. So like, give me that raise or I'm out of here. And they just give it to them. And women don't generally do that. They just kind of like hope that it's offered to them someday. And that's something that I hope that when I teach my classes, and I can give examples of this, because everyone's looking for a job after college, that I can help instill some of that mediocre white man confidence into my non-white, non-male students. That you just have to exude that confidence, no matter how misplaced it may be. Because in the end, a lot of times it isn't misplaced. A lot of times, I'll have students that tell me like, oh, I'm not very good at this or whatever, and they're the best in the entire class. And I want to just shake them and be like, shut the fuck up. Be proud of yourself. Own it. You are the best at this out of the 25 students in here. Appreciate that. Acknowledge that. Point that to people. Otherwise, they're just going to use you as a doormat and make you do all the work, and they're going to take all the credit. And that's how it works for especially a lot of women in tech. And like they'll get used and abused by upper management that way over and over again. So yes, take that confidence. Michael Ryan, Ken, they auto sell at expiration. If it wasn't expired, it shouldn't sell. Well, some I think may do some sort of auto sell 30 minutes ahead of time, unless you expressly say, I want to exercise this thing. But others do the auto exercise when it closes anyway in the money. So, I don't know. Alt F4, press them. Hey Houston, my options took a big poop this week, but my shares are looking forward to next. We're all going to make it. You have to be prepared when you're doing short-term options like this. You have to be prepared to ride that wave. Because you buy in at $1 and it shoots to $1.50. You sell. You're like, I'm up 50%. I'm out for now. You might wait for it to drop, and you get back in again. And this time you have more. So you can kind of ride that wave over and over again. If you just sit on them and they're close to expiration, the theta decay can take it out of you unless there's like huge spikes in volatility. I'm talking like moving $10, $15 in a day. And then the implied volatility will save you on those suckers. Right, the IV crush monkey, right? With IV rush, I guess it is on that side. I'll do one more and I gotta run away. I'm sorry about the short show. 1,000 apologies. I planned to do a 2-hour show today and then new computer, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully I'll have everything organized and set up, and we'll be doing this show on a fancy new computer. You guys won't know the difference, except for maybe there might be less lag. I don't know. Maybe I'll be fuzzier and actually in HD TV and not in 480p or whatever I'm going in. I can hope for that. Okay, what we got? We'll go down to the bottom here. Kelly Reed says, hyperthesis in Japan and China both sell treasuries in Q3. Bondholders are dumping bonds. Looks like UVXY might be a good purchase for these upcoming brutal years. GME hopefully MOAS is in 2025. I hope GME MOAS is now. Do it Monday. So, there we go. All right, I got to go. I'll see you folks on Monday. Hopefully, they'll be happy and not like, oh, it's kind of a lame day. I want the excitement in our lives. All right, we'll do that one.